Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Midtown USA. This is episode number 3, and as you can tell, we are in a brand new game day. This is game day number 2, early spring, and it's just after 8:30 in the morning, and we're going to get right to work getting some more seeds in the ground. Our plan, as I sort of illustrated and discussed in episode number 1, is taking advantage of these warm soil temperatures, and they have been extraordinarily cooperative with us. I do need to change our seed type here. We're going to go with barley over on field number 15. We do have a hired worker that's helping us do some plowing on field number 10. Field number 10 is basically going to become a canola field, as well as the field that is right beside us here. That's also going to be canola. And before we actually get started, I'm gonna stop right here. We're gonna let our big red continue to warm up just a little bit. We're gonna jump out because something that Farmer Klein had asked me about earlier was about our eggs and whether or not we had any sort of weird looking textures with our eggs, and I certainly don't see anything that looks odd. He was wondering which version of the map that I actually had, um, and he thought that his eggs at one time were either they were Easter eggs, they were something that was odd with them. I don't know if I misunderstood him, if they were meant to be painted up like Easter eggs or if they just had a different texture on them. But these look like regular. Well, that's a gold nugget. We'll go ahead and pick that up though. Might as well. No need. The chickens certainly don't need the gold nugget out here. So, but I don't see any others, so just looks like just one there, but that looked like a regular egg to me. And there's another one, and there's another. They are kind of in the ground just a little bit, so maybe if that's what he was talking about. But anyway, there's another one. So we are going to go ahead and hop the fence, and we're going to get back over here and get back to work and get moving towards our field here. We've got a lot to do, and a short time to get it all done this spring. We're looking for, let's look at our forecast here. We're going to be at, I'm not sure what our high temperature is going to be today, but look at tomorrow, 101. Wow, that is quite warm by farm sim standards. I don't ever think I've ever seen the temperatures be that warm ever, and so I think we've already talked about that. But anyway, been quite an interesting couple of days in the farm sim world. If you have been sort of paying attention, you obviously know that there was an update that came out for Farm Sim 17 on Thursday, the 14th of December. I certainly was not aware that this update was coming out. Maybe you were, but I was not. And come to find out, also, in addition to the update that came out, there was part of this update was to introduce the Seasons mod to consoles, and that's a good thing. I will certainly admit that. I'm proud that the Seasons mod is available for console users. I think that they, certainly should have the benefit of the Seasons mod. It is certainly fantastic. It has helped my level of immersion and gameplay and everything immensely. And let's go ahead and get started here as we start seeding barley into field number, what field number is this? Field number 15. So we're still using the more realistic mod. I will tell you, I'm a little disappointed in the more realistic mod because I initially had an AI worker spreading fertilizer on field number 10, which is now being plowed by an AI worker. And he made the first pass, went down the hill. I guess he had a bit too much speed because these hills are rolling kind of hills, and had a bit too much speed, and got a notice on the screen that he was stuck, or obstacle was blocking his path, or whatever that message is that we get. And I went over there to check him out, and he was basically on his side. The AI worker had rolled the New Holland T8 and the fertilize spreader. So I'm guessing that the more realistic mod also affects AI, which is, well, a bit maybe disappointing, because we already know that, you know, the whole AI engine on FarmSim 17 and FarmSim 15 and everything else is a bit lacking in maybe realism and everything else, because, you know, if you're not careful, these guys will, you know, run into trees and run over boulders and get themselves kind of pinned in and jackknifed between trees and stuff like that. Perhaps it would be more functional if basically if the AI workers were not affected by the more realistic mod. I understand that that might not be 100% realistic, but again, considering that I think the AI is kind of lacking in everything that it's capable of doing, could possibly use some additional work on that. I think that maybe that's just going to cause us more problems than it's going to be worth, but we're going to keep the AI or the more realistic mod in play, at least for now, unless there becomes more and more problems. I will just say this though, that in playing these maps and trying to play maps that have relatively, you know, large fields and lots of fields and stuff like that, I really do rely on, and I need the AI workers to be able to be functional as well as they possibly can be functional, keeping in mind that, you know, we do know that there are some functionality issues with AI, but I certainly would prefer that they not certainly roll over if that can be avoided. All right, so let's get back on path here and drop our seeder. So I did opt to bring out the second big bud, and we upgraded this seeder again, just to kind of try to cover a little bit more ground, making things, you know, the more realistic mod really does slow down the equipment. You know, I think that the default equipment, or even most of the mods, operate a little bit faster than what would occur in the real world. And again, that's kind of what the whole more realistic mod is trying to accomplish. But again, just for sort of time constraints and, you know, allowing me to do everything that I need to do, both on camera and off camera, and not only play this map, but Thornton Farm, Snetterton Farm, anything else that may come down the pike, I, you know, need to be able to cover a little bit more ground. So I think that maybe, you know, this map might not be 100% suited for the big bud, but I did sort of talk about this in the earlier episodes about how that I really haven't had the opportunity to use this DLC, and so obviously since I've paid for it, I want to get my money's worth, and I quite enjoy what it sort of brings to the game. And I'm sure that maybe after playing it on this map for a little while, maybe that will suffice my my interests, and then, you know, we can move on and do something else with other equipment and other maps and that sort of thing. So we did make some fairly good progress in day one. Game day number one, we did plant our 2 fields over there with wheat, plus also the field over there on the other side of that communications tower. I seeded that in grass, and I think that's field number 12. So we're actually going to have 3 grass fields on our map. Obviously, we've got fields number 19 and 18, which were pre-planted with grass, and then we'll have field number 12, which will obviously be grass. And again, field 16 and 17 have wheat in it, and then obviously this field's going to be our barley field, and then we're going to begin planting canola, and just kind of moving around the map and getting all of our fields that we own all seeded and ready to go. One thing that you know, we are shooting for, that we're hoping that we can achieve with the gameplay and everything, is we are hoping that we can turn at least our two wheat fields. We're hoping that we can turn both of those around in midsummer, in the midsummer time frame, and put soybeans after we harvest the wheat on those fields, plant those with soybeans, and then obviously harvest the soybeans in the fall time frame. So fingers crossed, everything is going to allow us to do that. Sort of our game plan with this map has been to first put down granular fertilizer, then we plow, and then we seed and fertilize at the same time, and obviously that will leave one more additional fertilization layer that we'll need to apply to our fields before harvest, and we're planning on spraying that third level of fertilization once we get to that particular point in time, and obviously that will be sometime in late spring or very early summer that we would need to come around and spray our fields. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful day. I did sort of work out on my schedule of things, and at least this is how it's going to work for the foreseeable future, is that you're going to be watching this episode on Wednesday the 20th of December, and my hopes is that on Mondays you will watch a Thornton Farm video. On Wednesday and Thursday you will watch a MidtownUSA video, and maybe on Friday you'll either see a Thornton Farm or maybe a Snetterton Farm video, or maybe I won't put a video out at all that day. Just going to kind of see. I think between now and the end of the year, I'm going to try to get you 3 to 4 videos per week. And I'm going to be off the last week of the year. And while my wife does have a sort of a long list of honeydew projects that she already has written on a schedule for us to accomplish that week, I do hope to get a few videos recorded that week and kind of get back into a position where I'm working a little bit ahead with a little bit of a backlog of videos, so that I can kind of keep things consistent and still stick with maybe 3 to 4 videos per week. Now, I will be recording a Christmas message. I don't think it'll actually be a farm sim video, simply because all of my maps are either in the spring or they are in the fall time frame. So I don't really have a map that we're in winter time, so I'm not probably going to do a farm sim video, but I do have a farm sim message that I hope to bring to the channel, and my guess is that you guys will see that probably on Christmas Eve, so that would be the 24th, Sunday the 24th of December. So definitely look for that on the channel. And so basically that is my hopes anyways for the foreseeable future. And I feel good about this schedule. I'm enjoying playing the game. I'm enjoying not having to travel. That is certainly first and foremost. I think I've enjoyed being at home the last several weeks. I enjoy spending time with my wife and everything, and being home and basically working in my home or in my office here in Denver, and not having to travel. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So anyway, if any of you guys are watching this series and play console, and if you've played with the Seasons mod, what do you think? I want to hear from you. I want to hear, because obviously a lot of folks have been watching my channel, and I can't really remember. I'm pretty sure that I got access to the Seasons mod around this time last year. I think it was during the holidays, or it was maybe a little bit after. So obviously you've been watching this channel for a year with me playing the Seasons mod. Many of you watched patiently during the time frame that it was still very much in beta and it hadn't been released yet because of the Giants mod contest. So you had to wait until June or July, I think it was, before it came out for everyone. And so obviously that was only for PC users. Well, now some 5-6 months after it was released for PC users, it has now been made available for console. And I've got to say, I always would say when someone would ask me if I thought that it would be available for consoles, my answer was always pretty much no. I don't think it will be, simply because of all the scripting that is involved in it, and how that Sony and Microsoft are both pretty much against scripting that changes the functionality of the game itself and all that good stuff. And so I even had somebody ask a question on the Seasons review that I did back way back, like I said, a year ago, or around a year ago. Asked me, I think on Wednesday, they said they saw something on Instagram about the Seasons mod coming out for consoles, and I actually responded back to him and said, I really don't think that would be true, because again, for these reasons. And then I think it was, then I saw a message from Farmer Klein on his Discord server, who basically said, yeah, that, and he was shocked. I think his response was, "Wow, this is really cool news." And so, yeah, it's something that I didn't think would ever happen, again, because of the limitations that Sony and Microsoft put on the games. And so, but lo and behold, here we are, and yeah, so we've got the Seasons mod. You guys have the Seasons mod, and you have some really awesome maps as well. I mean, the maps that you guys have available to you, Thornton Farm is on console. I'm pretty sure that many of the others that have come out, West Coast, I believe, is on console, and quite a few others. So you guys that have stuck it out on consoles, I really think that, hopefully this is a changing of times, and this is going to be certainly, I think, a good direction for things to go as everything continues to progress. At least I hope so for you. I mean, I've never been into that whole PC master race kind of thing. For me, it just makes sense for me to be a PC gamer. The only kind of consoles that I've ever had in my life were back when I was a teenager. I had, well, even before my teenage years, back when I was probably still in grade school, we had Pong. So that kind of tells you how old I was. That was just a black and white sort of tennis game that you could connect to your TV. And then soon after that, I had the Atari 2600, and then I kind of went right into the Commodore 64, and then right into PC. And I've never really been a console gamer, really never thought much about it. And so, but I know a lot of you guys swear by it, and I think that's fantastic. And I'm just really happy that you guys are getting some of the benefit from that, and getting some of these cool mods and cool DLC and stuff like that. That's really incredible. And I can't be more happier for you. And I hope that for those of you that have sort of been living vicariously through those of us with PCs, I hope that you guys will at least go out and try the Seasons mod, because I really think that you will absolutely love it. It will become such an immersive thing for you, more so than probably anything else that you have access to at this particular point in time. And it sort of gives you a reason to do things. It gives you a reason to plant. It's spring, that's when we plant. In the summer, we do other things, fertilize, and maybe plant soybeans like that, and get ready for the fall harvest. And obviously in the fall, you're harvesting. In the winter, you're taking care of your animals and doing other stuff on the farm. So I think it's a really cool thing. I am noticing just a little bit of performance issues after the update, again, that came out on Thursday, and then there was a hot fix that came out this morning. I'm noticing a little bit of a lag here and there. I did take a little bit of time and I drove around the map before I started recording, but it may just take a little bit longer for stuff to get fully cached in, and we get our full performance and everything back again. So hopefully this will be the last update that we will see for a while. Now I don't know if this update or if the hot fix fixed the widespread mowing capabilities of the Corona Big M. Hopefully it did. I know that I had heard that Giants actually had knew what the problem was, and that they put the fix, or somebody thought they were going to put the fix in with the update that came out a couple of weeks ago, but I guess it got taken out or something, or whatever, it never got put in. And so some folks were a bit surprised that that fix wasn't in play, but I have not had the chance to actually test to see if in fact it works. So I'm not sure if we're going to use the Big M on this map or if we'll go with other types of mowers, but whenever we get to that point, then we can certainly test it anyways, or I will maybe test it off camera to see if that functionality is fixed. But then again, I'm sure if you watch my good friend Doug Zorley, who is the Lord of the Grass, he will probably know very quickly whether that has been fixed or not, since he tends to cut grass quite a bit on his maps and enjoys it immensely. So is everyone ready for Christmas? I know I've asked this a couple of times over the last few videos. We're again getting very, very close. Unless something happens and my internet completely dies and I can't upload videos, which I'm knock on wood that's not going to happen. You guys are going to be watching this on the 20th of December, and hopefully you all have your Christmas shopping done, and hopefully you're all wrapping up all of your work chores and everything, getting ready for the holidays. And hopefully, if you are like me, you might be off of work maybe the last week of the year, or at least you have a little bit of extra time off other than just the holiday days themselves, and that you can spend time with family and friends and maybe get out and about and see things. My wife and I were planning on taking a day trip to Eustace Park. Now that's obviously, I've talked about Eustace Park a lot on this channel. It tends to be our getaway location, or our close by getaway location. We go up and spend usually a couple of weeks a year in a cabin up there. We're not going to do an overnighter. We were just up there for my birthday in October, but my wife and I would both love to see Rocky Mountain National Park in the snow. We've never had the opportunity, or at least it's been probably 15 years since I've been to Rocky Mountain National Park in the wintertime. And so we're certainly looking forward to getting up there and seeing what the park looks like, all covered in snow, and maybe the wildlife and stuff like that. And just spend a day up there, probably have lunch, get up early, drive up there. It takes about 90 minutes to drive to Eustace Park from Denver, and have lunch and go into the park and spend a couple of hours, and then obviously head back to Denver. And so we're possibly looking at doing this next Saturday. So I think that would be the 23rd of I think that would be the 23rd of December. Go up there and again spend just the day and enjoy things. and we'll come back once we're all done and get these ends cleaned up. We're coming up on 25 minutes, so I'm going to start wrapping things up here, and just thank you all so much for watching my episodes. I hope that you will tune in throughout the holidays for my release schedule. Again, I'm aiming to release Thornton Farm on Mondays, with Midtown USA on Wednesday and Thursday, and perhaps another episode of Thornton Farm or maybe a Snetterton Farm update on Friday. But probably for the week before Christmas, obviously you're seeing this on Wednesday. I think you'll see another Midtown episode on Thursday tomorrow, and then I think there won't be another episode until possibly on Sunday. I'm going to have a Christmas message for everyone, just be a short video that I'm going to put out for you all, and then we'll get right back into the action. Probably won't be an episode on Monday, Christmas Day, but then we'll have a Thornton Farm episode on Tuesday, and then possibly a couple of Midtown USA episodes on Wednesday and Thursday. And then after the first of the year, kind of once I return back to work and everything, we'll have try to have a more dedicated schedule with things releasing on a little bit more regular basis for you all to know when things are coming out. But I do hope that you're enjoying this map. I'm certainly enjoying it. Again, thank you to ccs101 for having early access to this map, being able to play it, showcase it on my channel, and hopefully help spread the word about what an amazing map this is, so that folks, when it does become available, and again, as I'm recording this on the 15th of December, it's not available yet, but we still expect it to be available pretty much any day now, so hopefully before Christmas or maybe before the first of the year, you'll have access to this beautiful map. So anyway, I'm just going to end things off here, and I'll finish the rest of this up off camera. When we come back together for episode number 4, we most likely will be seeding some canola over on one of those other 2 fields over there, probably on this little field in front of us, and then we'll have the AI doing the larger field, and then that'll probably be it for that game day. Again, probably about 2 videos per game day is kind of what I'm shooting for, 2 to 3. It kind of depends on what all is going on, but for right now, our animals are taken care of. They're nice and happy, and we're getting some seeds in the ground as quickly as possible, and certainly hoping that our plan works out. I think it will. With all the good warm temperatures, those seeds are going to germinate really quick, and we should start seeing some signs of life in the next few game days, and then we will be prepared to obviously begin our harvest in midsummer time frame. Get the wheat, get the barley up, get the straw baled on those fields, and basically get started turning those fields around and putting soybeans in. So until next time, please tune in again for another episode of Midtown USA or Thornton Farm. Take care of yourselves and each other. God bless you all, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye.